Hello everyone, JoRaSe here, ready to get back into our game project. And let's see, what did we finish up with last time? Last time we had altered the token rotate action to be more specific for the assigned tokens. This time we're going to rearrange the code and provide some notes in the code. And what we're going to be altering it to be is to allow the pickup of one token to then generate or spawn the next token. And with that, let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, so here we are in Game Studio, the Game Studio script editor. And what we want to do, first of all, is start out by, we will start everything right here. Strings and texts don't need to be altered, but the other components do, so we will make a note. Control of where am I? Yes. So we're going to start with the E token. Reason being is that each token, for it to remove and then create the next, that next has to already exist in code. So we're just going to go down the line here and type these in for our comments or notes. So this will be A. I want it to be control, not control. There we go. And finally S. So that is a start. Now we need to get our first bit for the E token. So let's use the code jumper over here. We haven't really looked at this, but that's because we haven't really had a need to. If we go to functions and click on the little plus box, we see we have all of our functions right here. If we click on the one we want, which is E, it takes us right to it. So let's go ahead and grab this. We're going to cut it, scroll back up here, and now we want to paste it. Just put a return right there and right there. And now, since we're doing this, we might as well go ahead and get the actual action as well. So again, we could scroll down using the mouse or the scroll bar here, but we've got actions right here. And again, we can just jump right to it. So that gives us our function and our action. We're going to cut the action. And again, now that we have it located properly, we can just click on it here in functions And we want to paste it below the function. So right there. And now we've got everything for control of E token. Next up is V. So we want the function, go back up to E because it puts us right above where we want to be. There's V. Now we need the corresponding action. And we're going to cut it and move everything back up here and paste it in. So far, so good. Now we need A. It's right here, A. Cut it, paste it, and now we need the A action. Cut it, and yeah. Lost my place there for a second. Alright, so now we just take some space out there with the backspace. And we've got all of our functions and actions properly lined up. Everything is the way it should be. Now we can go in and add our code. But again, we're just going to copy and paste it from the main function because we already have all of the tokens set up here. So for the if we go for the V token, we're going to be needing the int create for token E. So we're just going to remove this from function main and move it into the function token V. Click on it using our code jumper, gets us right to it. And we want to put it right after int remove my. So what this is going to do is it's going to have token E be created in the game as soon as token V gets picked up. Let's just run through it and see if that actually happens. Why don't we? Okay, well, and this makes sense because if I remember right, try that again here. There we go. Always remember to save. Alright, so we've got our token V up at the top there. So now if we pick this one up, okay, there it is. It appeared right down there. And that's what we're going to do with all of them. Now that you see how it is supposed to work, And we've had a little brief reminder of why it is so important to make sure that we save. We can get back to it. So now we want to put the token V int create onto token A. Alright, just paste it in there. And now for token A, it gets put into token S. And remove that extra space there. All right, let's save it and run through it. Okay, so we've only got the one down here. And if we go to collect it, the next one appears. Collect this one, and the third one appears. Collect that one, and the last one appears. So that is that. It's the first bit that we should have done to make it a bit more of interesting and not so overly obvious. Now, next thing we want to do is make the camera a bit better than the overhead that we've got. So we're going to add a line to the action char move, and we want it in before the while one. So let's get down to it. And we want it to be player underscore camera me. Now what this is going to be is an instruction to run the function that we're about to write. So let's do just that. Start out making sure we're above the action where it is, where the function is being called from. So function player underscore camera, and now we've got something new that we're going to be doing. It's an entity. And while yes, we've had this kind of thing before up here at the top with strings and text, this one's right in the function because we have to make sure that everything is properly defined. So we want it to be entity star int, and now we can begin the function. Starts with a while 1, so we toss while 1 in there. And now, first vector that we need to set is camera.x. And then we're going to set it to the vector (0, 150, 100). So that's the first vector we need to set. Now we need to rotate a vector. So we're going to have vec rotate, and this is going to be camera.x again. And what do we want to have it follow? It's going to be int.pan. So this instruction here tells the camera that it's supposed to rotate along with the character rotation. Next up is going to be a vector add, and this is going to help keep the camera in position with the character. So camera.x, and then we're just wanting it to follow behind the character, so it's going to be int.x. Next up is another vec set, or vector set, and this time we're doing camera.pan, and then vector, and we want it to be the characters pan, or the entities pan, minus 90. And we will, when we get into the actual testing, I'll explain what this does. Because it'll make a bit more sense then. And now the final vec set. And camera.tilt vector -30, 0, and 0. And finally, a wait 1 instruction. All right, let's save it and see how that runs. Aha, we are now behind the character, and you can see the character is in the full frame there. Now, the first vec set sets the camera's position to 150 units behind the character and 100 units up from the ground area, or from the ground plane. The next instruction, vec rotate, like we said, causes the camera to rotate with the same angle and speed that the character is. Then vec add keeps the position of the camera constant to that of the character. Then the next vec set that controls the camera pan. Let's use this token here to show what is going on with that. So the camera on its own, without having this instruction, would be set right where the S tablet is right now. Don't really want that, and the reason for that is that Game Studio requires the character to be turned 90 degrees to the right for it to be facing the right way for the camera just to automatically be behind it. We didn't do that, so we've had to adjust things in code. Now, with that instruction to set the camera pan, it takes it from the camera being right where that S tablet is to being literally behind the character. So like this. Just that little bit of a rotation is all that was needed, and we now have it where it should be. The final vec set controls the tilt, or the downward angle, and as we can see, it is at a slightly downward angle compared to the character. Alright, that's enough explanation, I think. Let's collect this token and see if everything works out the way we want it to. So there, we got the first one, but now we kind of have to look around and find where the second one is. It's not just obvious. There it is. So we collect the second one, and there's the third one. Let's go ahead and collect it. And then there's the fourth one. Collect it. There we go. All right, so now we have a working system here. You can go ahead and close out of the game engine. And so what have we gained from all of this? And I should probably put some notes in about this. So character and camera control. And let's see, we can do one better than just that. We can come here on this one and actually spell out which lines they are. So this one runs from line 42 all the way to line 64. Lines 65 to 88. Lines 89 to 112. Lines 113 to 136. And this runs from lines 137 all the way down to 182. All right. And here we can remove some of these lines that we don't need anymore. Just clear up the code a little bit. So now we've got what we want here. And I say we have just about done it. So we've got our camera that follows the player instead of it being above. And yeah, I'm forgetting about this line, aren't I? Or these two lines. Since we've defined our own camera, we don't need the one in function main anymore, so we can get rid of that one. And let's just run it again to be sure that everything works. Yep, everything still works fine, which is what we want to see. So a nice slimmed down function main, a camera added to follow the player, and tokens that upon picking up the first generates the second, and so forth. And then all of the text and string definitions. Yeah, I say we've pretty much done it. For today, at least. Where am I? There we are. Had the wrong thing. So now we've done pretty much everything that we want to do for this time. What are we going to be looking to do next time? Well, I'm thinking we could make the little pickup display a little bit better, and maybe do some other alterations to some of the character code. And what else was I thinking about? Oh, bringing in some other models. So we will bring in the door and possibly the lock mechanism as well. But that's for next time, isn't it? See you all then. Alright everyone, hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, feel free to give me a like and maybe subscribe. And if you want to go a little bit further and you want to see your name in lights in the credits here, feel free to go to my Patreon and contribute. Till next time, everyone.